Hello, Paul McFadden here. So let's continue on the whole theme of property deal sourcing. Where do you find the deals? Do these deals exist? And if so, what's the best strategies to get those deals? Now for the next few days, like I have over the last couple of days, we're going to be talking about all of this and breaking it down. So if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel or the podcast, make sure you do that and catch up with the last few videos, because this whole week is all about the question that I always get asked. The number one question is, Paul, how do I find these deals? And that's what we're addressing and what we're talking about. So with that said, make sure you've got a copy of my new book. Within a few hours of going live, it became an Amazon #1 bestseller across 6 different categories. That's the Property Sourcing Blueprint, the complete guide on how to source properties like a professional. You can either search for that on Amazon or go to propertysourcingblueprint.com and grab yourself a copy. Because I go into so much detail in this book with everything to do with deal sourcing on market and off market. So with that said, we're going to talk about who your target market is when it comes to deal sourcing as an investor. It's with motivated sellers. You may have heard that term before. So I'm going to break that down and discuss what a motivated seller is, why they want to sell, and I'm going to talk about the market a little bit here. So most people, when they're getting started in their property journey, will focus on finding deals at property auctions. We've already addressed in the previous videos why that's a bad idea and why you should avoid auctions at all costs. We've spoken about how a lot of people try and build relationships with estate agents. It's a good strategy, but no estate agent is going to bring you an abundance of deals for you to even be able to build a property business. You can spend time trawling through the net every single day on Rightmove, Zoopla and other online portals, and you will identify, if you know what you're looking for, some deals. A lot of people in our property protege community, they're finding lots of deals online because they know what to look for. They've become experts in their go-by area, so you can still do that. It's a great viable strategy. But if you want to get way more deals, you've got to take marketing into your own control. You've got to do the things that's discussed inside this book, because we want to go direct to motivated sellers. A motivated seller doesn't necessarily have the luxury of time to go and list their property with an estate agent. Like if you think about it, for every one property that goes on the market with an estate agent, there's with no exaggeration here, 50 times more motivated sellers who are selling off market directly to investors, because they can't go and list a property with an estate agent. They don't have the money to do that. They don't have the time. Time is the big thing here. A lot of people think that if a seller wants to sell the property, that if they want to get the best possible price, that they will get that best possible price if they sell with an estate agent. And that's not true at all, because it's time's a motivator. It's no longer getting the best price for the property. They want a quick sale. And this is why sellers in certain circumstances, such as maybe they're just about to be repossessed. If they're about to be repossessed, they do not have time. They've got to offload that property now to an investor, ideally a cash buyer, and someone who can put an offer in right now over a phone call and get that seller to get out of that situation, because no longer are they thinking about getting best price. Maybe they're in financial difficulty. Likewise, again, if they're in financial difficulty, they don't have the ability to pay the estate agent, to pay for the home report or valuation report, and to take the whole time it takes to do viewings and potentially find the right type of buyer. Like if it's going to be a residential purchaser or a first-time buyer, that process from putting an offer in to buying a property for its selling could be as long as 8, 12, 16 weeks from the whole conveyancing process. These sellers need an investor, someone that can buy now, ideally cash buyer. If not a cash buyer, someone who's got their funds in place, got their lending lined up, who can operate and buy inside of a couple of weeks to a month to 2 months at most. And an investor, if it does take a little bit longer, can cover the seller's overheads, where it's their mortgage payments or pay a couple of things while they're having that pressure, so that pressure's taken off them, because an investor can step in and do that. So it's very advantageous for people in these situations to work with an investor, not someone who's looking to buy for themselves as a residential purchaser. And that's what happens when you're going to put it on the market with an estate agent. So it could be someone who is going through a divorce. It could be someone who has lost their job. It could be someone who is in a broken chain and maybe they're immigrating or moving somewhere else. You know, there's many different reasons why someone is motivated to sell. You could have distressed landlords who have bought wrong and want to offload. You know, there's many people who find themselves in a situation where their property's run down and it's in poor condition. They don't want to list it with an estate agent because it's their home and they've left it in a very bad condition, and they don't want people to see that type of property, their home, the living conditions, when they put it on the market. So there's many reasons why someone wants to sell, and just to re-emphasize here, it's very rarely to do with getting best price. It's to do with solving a problem. It's doing with offloading the property, because what was once their home is no longer their home. In their mind, have already sold. It's an asset that they can, you know, sell, get rid of quickly to be able to use the surplus money that comes from that. And it's not always about the money, remember, to solve their immediate problem that they've got themselves into. Think about it, motivated sellers do not call you 6 months in advance and say, hey, I'm going to start missing my mortgage payments next month, so I'm just letting you know that I might want to sell in 6 months. No, they reach out when it's too late, when it's almost too late, the 11th hour, when it's like, I've been missing X amount of payments, I've been in a divorce and it's getting messy and it's been like this for the last 6 months, I'm going through this issue and I need to sell, I've lost my job, not about to, I've lost my job and I'm at a stage where I need to sell my property. And they have an asset that can help them in their situation at their time of need. Now, if you're an investor and you're negotiating and you're working with them, you want to make sure that you're not making it all about the deal, the property, the numbers, because you're dealing with human beings who are in vulnerable and challenging situations. And if you make it about them and you can help solve their problem, then if you've got more investment strategies other than trying to buy at the biggest discount, then you're going to be able to best serve and help these motivated sellers in their time of need, because you want to be, you know, ethical about your approach. You want to make sure that you've got a moral compass as well, because again, investors get a bad name from people saying, oh, these investors, these landlords are just vultures, they're going to come in and take the property off you. And that's far from the truth when you operate from a place of serving and assisting these people. And sure, you know, you've got to get the property at the right price, and investors will ultimately make money whether they add it to their portfolio or whether they go and flip that on by renovating it. But the reality is they've helped a seller in the situation. And any time that I've done this, working with literally hundreds of motivated sellers, I've been given thank you cards. I've been getting phone calls with people just couldn't be more grateful and thankful because I was able to help them in their time of need. So the next few days, we're going to go deeper into some of the deal sourcing strategies. But again, I just want to talk about the whole motivated sellers, who they are and how we approach them. And hey, if you want to get yourself involved in property, if you haven't got yourself involved already, or maybe you've already got an existing property business that you're looking to accelerate, then maybe check out our Property Protege program by going to propertyprotege.com. Check out what we do there to help you on your journey going forward. And of course, make sure you grab a copy of the book. Go to propertysourcingblueprint.com to do that. And of course, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel or the podcast player, where every day I drop new videos for you to tune into. And this week, we're talking about all things deal sourcing. So all the best, and bye for now.